Avermedia has been going harder and harder in the gaming and streaming space for a while now, with the biggest product they have in that segment being the Live Streamer Nexus, which basically combines a Go XLR and a Stream Deck Plus. Now, they're going after Elgato's Wave microphones, and more importantly, attempting to compete with Elgato's Wavelink software. Ambitious.
Ambitious.
This is the Live Streamer Mic 350. It's a 24-bit 96 kHz condenser microphone with selectable cardioid and omnidirectional pickup patterns. The advertising around it also points out it features Dirac audio tuning technology. Some quick Googling seems to show Dirac is a well-reputed audio company, so I hope this partnership leads to some good audio results. Anyways, it has USB-C, zero latency monitoring, comes with a shock mount and a pop filter, and most importantly to me, features Avermedia's new Vibe Engine mixing and DSP software, which could give Elgato's Wavelink software a run for its money. Let's check it out.
Welcome back. If you're new around here, my name is Chris. This is Coalition Gaming, and I like to teach you guys about repairing, setting up, and streaming from your PC. If you're into that sort of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos.
And so here we are at the desktop with the Vibe Engine software from Avermedia on here. As you can see already that it is a very powerful looking software. So one thing that I really liked about it though is that you can add whatever audio input sources, virtual input sources, just by clicking the plus button there, and then you just drop down and select. Now if you have other mixes, because I have mixer mode enabled on it, and that's the red check here, you could use it straight with no mixer mode, so it's just different controllable virtual sources. Or if you put it in mixer mode, then that's where you can actually separate what you hear separate from what audience hears, or however else you want to configure it. It's a lot more powerful that way. So if I wanted to add a virtual source, I just hit the plus sign on the right there and I select one from the list here, like soundboard. I can actually have a dedicated virtual source just for soundboard to route that into, to have the individually controllable source of just soundboard effects. That's pretty useful. So if you check the box for also added as an audio input field to all mixers, that means all of these different ones. So I'm just going to add it to the, well, if I'll check the box and I'll show you, and see it popped up on several of them, actually all of them. So I don't want it on this one, and I'd only want it on those two. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Scroll over, there you go. Now you can also add monitoring devices. So right now I'm just using the sound that I'm getting from the microphone, and my headphones are plugged directly into it, and so I'm using the monitoring device, the AM350. But if I wanted to also monitor out of a different output, say my speakers built into the laptop, I can just add it just like that. And so I'm just going to delete that for now because I'm only really wanting to monitor from one thing, but you could use that to route audio to different places, all depending on which mix you're listening to, all at the same time, which is pretty powerful, especially like in a 2 PC setup. You can send all monitored audio out to somewhere else from a different output on your computer. Kind of nifty. Now you see here, I have the absolute volume control of Creator Mix. I also have Audio Mix right here, but I noticed something. If you add the microphone directly in OBS, it doesn't have any effects to it that you might apply. Any EQ, noise reduction, voice effect, voice changer, anything like that, as far as I can tell. So what I did is I created another mix here, and this is what I called mic only. And you can change the names of the different mixes to fit whatever you'd want. And I set the monitoring device to be the AM350, and the audio input is the AM350. And now you can go down here where it says VST effects on the bottom, and you see all the different effects that you can apply to it, including custom VSTs right here. I just hit the plus sign and drop the VST in if I wanted to do that. But it's powerful enough as it is, I think, without the VST, which for most people, that'll be great. Now, if I wanted to listen to it, if I wanted to hear how I sounded through it, I just uncheck this here. So if you have a recording capable device as an input, you get the ability to monitor just by pushing this button right there. And now I can actually hear myself in the headset because I unmuted it there. I'm monitoring here. And the streaming output to the mic volume, essentially, it's controlled here. And if I don't want to monitor it, done, fine. I don't have to monitor it. Another way to do that, though, is also if we're here on mic device, and I'm clicking here on the left side, that there's a button on the microphone itself, and I can move between controlling volume of the computer by pressing it, and you see here the computer lit up. Then I can control the volume of the computer right there. This is volume of whatever like you have designated as your main audio device you're listening to. But then if I switch over, you see the microphone. And so without having to deal with any of that, open Vibe Engine, unclick the headphones to monitor your audio, you just use the knob and I can turn it up right there. And now I can actually just hear myself in the microphone just from using the button for control. Now I don't really want to do that, so I'm going to turn that all the way back down to 0 and switch it over to computer volume control. And that's pretty nifty. Another nifty function of the microphone itself is that it has onboard volume control right on the knob, but also a click to mute on the knob that's right in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and press the knob right now while I'm talking. So now I've gone ahead and unmuted, and you can, when it's muted, it lights up red. So that's actually a nifty feature. You can do at a glance feature you could use to tell if you're muted or not. But turning that same knob adjusts the microphone volume. I found around in the 70s to be pretty good. I can turn it down right there. You see the volume in there going down. I'm going to go back up to 73 where I liked it. Now it does look complicated when you see all these monitoring devices, audio inputs. It does look kind of messy, but the cool thing with the Windows volume mixer is you click that button you see here. Now I have Google Chrome open. I'm going to unmute it. And I have some music going, right? And to me, it's at a pretty decent volume of headphones. But of the different virtual outputs that you can see here, I have that one set to music. If you had Spotify, you could also set it to whichever of those virtual output sources that you want. But I'm just going to go ahead and set to music. There's system, there's soundboard, there's game. Obviously, your games you're going to want to set to the game one, and you can control your volume of the game individually from everything else. So I'm going to go to music. And so then if I wanted to control the volume of music right now, go into my headphones, it's right here. Now it's really low in my headphones, but you guys are probably hearing it low already because OBS is capturing the audience mix. So I'll move it down to here to the audience mix, and you see I can move it up there. And now it's getting louder for me. So I'll bring it back down. Yeah, and so now it's back down. And there, that is the control of what I hear versus what you would hear using the Vibe Engine mixing software, which it's nice, I'm telling you. Another nice thing is that you do have linked audio levels. So if I press the link button right there, it will link the same source and all mixes together. But the one difference that, say, versus the Elgato Wavelink software is that you can lock it at, say, like, you know, one's going to be at 2%, and then what you want to hear is going to be at 50%. Unfortunately, can't quite do that in this software. Maybe a future software update will fix that. If you lock it, it will lock it to the same volume. So if I'm moving it right now, they move in sync. So I'll go ahead and unlock them so I can adjust what I hear again separately from what Stream is hearing. So another major benefit of a software like this is you can control your microphone and do all sorts of things to it, effects, EQ, and it will apply to everything you use it in. That is OBS, that's Discord, that's video calls, Skype, anything like that, in-game as well. And so if we click the microphone we're using in this mic only mix that I have, I'm going to click that, and you can see here, like I showed you earlier, if you click the VSTFX, there's all of this, but you can also just be clicked on the mic and you come over to the left, and you have scenarios that you can enable. I have them turned off, but it'll basically auto-tune the microphone based on some presets. So you have chat, so it'll probably boost the clarity with a little bit of bass. Podcast boosts the bass a lot. Singing, you know, instrument, different settings for that. I'm going to run scenarios off right now and continue to the next step. You see now we also have echo cancellation, noise suppression, and the noise suppression you can turn on. We'll also do AI noise reduction or NVIDIA noise removal. Having NVIDIA noise removal built in and not having to apply it in OBS or literally anything else, and it's just right in the software on the mic at all times, and you don't have to have NVIDIA broadcast running or anything like that. It is a super useful feature because it's basically set it and forget it with the NVIDIA noise removal. Now, I ended up liking how the Vibe Engine AI noise reduction sounded to me, so that's where I leave it. But the cool thing with it is it doesn't necessarily act as a noise gate, but if you stop talking, it just sounds quiet. Unlike that if you run it without it, I do this, and now you can hear a lot of noise behind me, but I turn it on and it's minimal impact to the way I sound, which is obviously the goal when it comes to something like this. And being able to tune the mic like that in the software, have it all right there is, yeah, it's very useful. Echo cancellation is there. I also do like how that sounds. I'll show you real quick. Let me actually do this. And then I'm going to hear myself so I can make sure it all sounds good here. I'm going to turn noise suppression off. Okay, and I'm going to turn echo cancellation on. Now, echo cancellation does have a way that it sounds. You know, I actually ended up liking noise suppression better. I guess I don't have much of an echoey room. All that said, you do also have a noise gate available here that you can turn on and configure everything of. You also do have a de-esser. This is not something I commonly see. This is something most people would probably do in post-processing also, or anything like that. So if you have a lot of sharp S's when you speak or whatever you happen to be doing, there's a lot of sounds, sibilant sounds, a de-esser is definitely going to help. You want to turn that on and tune it for your usage. Next down the line for the mic effects, you have different voice effects. You can change the pitch. I'm going to turn effects on, and I'm going to unmute so I can hear me. Oh, I got a little bit of echo, pitch.
Oh, squirrel time.
Yeah, I'm going to just turn that off, but obviously it's a neat thing to play with. We got reverb we can turn on. Yeah, a little bit of reverb. Let's make the room size bigger. Reverb. Yeah. Okay, next you have a compressor. This is fun. Compressors are nice. I won't let it get too loud, but there's another feature we're going to get to that also makes a compressor, depending on how you want to use it. A lot of people try to use a compressor so it won't peak so hard or clip. Well, we're gonna look at that. You also have a limiter. Limiter's nice. It'll cut off anything that goes past it. I haven't really played with limiters too much, but the function's there, so play with it. The fact that it's built in, again, plus. Anyways, EQ. Now I do have this mic EQ'd right now with brighter and bassy. So let's actually turn that off and show you guys how this mic sounds raw. And now EQ is turned off. This is the natural sound of this microphone without anything happening. It's plugged in via USB and that's it. No other effects on it. Oh, I guess the AI noise reduction is on it, but that's it. And so more or less, this is how the mic is going to sound under normal usage. Again, I like the way the brighter and bassy sound sounded, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on, and there we go. It's a massive difference, and this is just the sound that I like. But if you want to get deeper into the EQ, you can just click Advanced, and then you have this whole thing to fully take control of your mic EQ. Now, it isn't like the graphic EQ that a lot of people like, but you have, how many bands is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 band EQ. You'll be able to tune it to your heart's content. Next down the line, we also have voice changer effects. So if we go ahead and turn on voice
changer, now it switches to man. Well, I'm already a man, so I don't know how much manlier this can make me sound, but if it makes me sound manlier, leave a comment and tell me what you want me to say, and maybe I'll say it on stream. Anyways, let's switch over to
woman. Now, this just makes me sound like a shrimp, like scrawny thing, but yeah. What about robot?
Robot. It just sounds like Discord picked a bad server. So
the fact that you have all this built in, again, and I keep saying this because it's nice to have a whole package when it comes to something like this, is great. Because having to use a tool like voice mod, I don't like voice mod. A lot of people don't like voice mod. And so there we go. We have it all here. Looks like we're going to have to pay to unlock some more different voice changing effects. You can always play with the other ones, the effects here, pitch, echo, reverb, and all that to sort of make your own effects in a manner of speaking. Now if we click mic device here on the left, and now we're back to this screen, and you can also do record and playback tests right here. It shows you the volume of the mic, the headphone monitoring, or the computer volume that you happen to be on, and just clicking here and here. There's also a light on the microphone that shows you which one you're on. But this is what I also really like, is this one right here called Clipping Shield. Not that different of a name versus Wavelink, I think has Clip Shield. So yeah, sure, whatever. Clipping Shield. Now this can be actually very, very useful because of this microphone. If you turn the volume up too much, it will clip. Just how it is. Let me go ahead and turn it off. Now, I don't have the mic turned up in volume very much. I was just finding a good spot to run it at. But if I crank it up, yeah, look, I'm already clipping. It's so sensitive. It's condenser microphones, right? That's just how they are most of the time. We crank the gain up, and yeah, I'm speaking quietly right now. But if I speak any louder, it starts clipping. So you heard me clipping, and now I'm going to turn clipping shield on at a volume level where I know it will clip, and here we are. Loud, louder, louder. It works, but not the best. So I'm going to just turn the volume back down to 7.3. Earlier tests when I was using it, it cut out all clipping, but right now, not so much. So, you know, I guess it'll get tuned in software updates and such, but yeah, just put the mic at a good level. It's going to take a lot of work to clip it when you have it set at a proper level and this clipping shield function is enabled. Because look, if you're at a distance from the microphone like this one when you're using it and you just happen to get loud in a game, like you just, you know, multi-kill, it's still clipped. Something to think about, something to consider. Hopefully this gets worked on a little bit. Definitely a little bit of a negative. This isn't me just selling a software and a microphone. I am trying to find things wrong to show you guys, but I'm also trying to demonstrate what makes this stuff awesome. So here we go. Now there's a switch on the bottom of the microphone that lets you select which polar pattern it's on. As you can see right now, I'm in cardoid. It says it down here. Cardoid is designed to pick you up more from the front than anywhere else. So if I go over to the back right now, it should not pick me up that loudly. Literally behind the microphone right now. Literally behind the mic. Now let's do the same thing after we set it to omnidirectional, which could be a useful function for cross-table speaking or podcasting or anything like that. And now it's in omnidirectional mode. Let me head on over to the back and run that test again. There's another microphone test from the back. I'm literally behind the microphone right now. And there you have it. Most people are going to use this on cardioid, so that's where I'm going to leave it. And any streamer, any content creator, it's going to be cardioid. But if you have multiple people in the room and you want them all picked up, set it to omnidirectional. It's a nice feature that it has. Not every microphone has it, so I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Now you can also set up profiles. So if you have different profiles with different configurations of your virtual audio devices and mixing modes and all that stuff, right now I have it on default and you can just add. I created one called secondary. You can flip-flop between profiles depending on what you're doing and how you're using it. Also a nice little value add in the software. Overall, I'm really happy with the way the mic sounds, but also very much enjoy the software. It does take a little getting used to, but it's polished and powerful, which is saying a lot. I can see the Live Streamer Nexus software being merged into Vibe Engine down the line, especially since Vibe Engine could benefit from a device with hardware controls for its multiple virtual audio sources, which the Nexus has those hardware controls, but currently they are two different ecosystems. That software is completely different than the Vibe Engine software. That said, this is the best offering I've seen from Avermedia when it comes to audio gear for streamers, considering that it has such powerful software behind it. Not just streamers, but content creators and anybody wanting all that extra control. At $199, it might seem a little pricey, but the inclusion of the shock mount and pop filter, not to mention the Vibe Engine software, offset that a little bit. So if you're looking for ultimate control of your audio config and wanted a good sounding mic to put that together with, this solution is hard to deny. Links to everything will be down in the description below if it's something that you are interested in. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a single upload. Also, I stream to Twitch every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/coalitionchris. So if you want to talk more PC hardware and streaming tech, feel free to come by, drop a follow, and hang out. Anyways, that does it for me. My name is Chris, and I've been your stream technician. See you in the next one. Bye. Gotta press stop recording at the computer here, actually.